Hey everyone, and welcome back to MMA Alerts. First things first today, Sean O'Malley gets a bad name from Aljamain Sterling. The feud between Aljamain Sterling and Sean O'Malley is still going strong, even though they no longer fight in the same weight class. He thinks that he not only beat fair and square, the former bantamweight champion, but he also finished him off in a spectacular way. Sterling, on the other hand, thinks that O'Malley got an unfair edge from the quick fight with Sugar Sean, along with Ali's planned fight with Dvalishvili, which is set to happen later this year. The two have started to insult each other again. When Dvalishvili wrote, "I will smash Ali inside the cage and then smash his coach outside of the cage," the champion replied, "I'll smash your best friend after I beat you." Oh, I see, I did that already. Tim Walsh also replied with a tweet that said, "Are you mad that I called your nose big brother?" Sterling then wrote back to the winner, "You're a champion. Keep bragging about a handicap fight to give you the best odds to win. You're not a real man, my guy. Don't try to duck the #1 contender again to fight number 15 this time, or some other pointless lame fight." He also wrote back to Walsh, "Bro, don't even fight anymore and be talking a clo chasing. That it might get both y'all cheeks clapped, yeah, did he? Let your fighter talk, you don't scrap anymore. Jimmy Neutron, you no longer scrap." Walsh then wrote back, "I never talk, stating facts and talking is different." Sterling responded by writing, "Cap, you talk during my fight with Sean. The ref had to tell you to shut the A up multiple times. I want to slap you in between rounds, and I regret not taking the fine for that. You should know better as a former fighter and a current coach. You constantly talk about Murab. Let Sean Talte. You don't need to be chiming in on the A talk unless you want that simple, bro. You don't have to join in on the A talk unless you want it to be that simple." After hearing the reports, Welsh wrote, "I always say good things about Murab because I know how dangerous he is. I was asked in an interview what we're going to target, and his nose is one of the things, and I don't mind a little dust up here and there. All good fun. What are we going to aim for? I was asked in an interview, and his nose is one of them. I don't mind a little dust here and there. It was all fun." Sterling then wrote a long response about the whole situation. "I think people get me mixed up when I reply on SM. Since I became a professional in 2011, I've always talked to my friends. There are receipts that I'm simply letting YL know the code to this. People cry about sportsmanship and being professional. Nah, bro, we're fighting to hurt each other. All that other stuff is post-fight respect. So if you decide to jump into a fight that you're not contracted to be in, you are now fair game as a target. You don't get to talk unpunished. We ain't boys. We didn't grow up with each other. And you ain't kin. That's simple. Since O'Malley and Dvalishvili are expected to fight next, this fight is probably not over yet." Next, let's look at the video of Dustin Poirier responding to Islam Makhachev. Dustin Poirier, who used to be the temporary lightweight champion, will fight Islam Makhachev for his title on June 1st. It will be the main event of UFC 302. Makhachev had already said before the fight that he wants to move up to welterweight, and Poirier had said that winning UFC gold would be the right ending to his amazing career and probably his last chance at the title. Dominance MMA head Ali Abdelaziz recently shared a film of the lightweight champion hitting the punching machine at an arcade and getting a score of 973. Fight night is coming up soon. He also wrote June 1st going down UFC 302 next to the video and tagged Makhachev and the UFC in the post. Poirier replied by posting a picture of himself on Instagram with a smile and the words, "Watching that video of Islam on the punching machine. There are only a few weeks left of training camp, but Makhachev is a big favorite on DraftKings with odds of -535, while Poirier is a +400 underdog." Let's look at Anthony Lionheart next. Smith tells Alex Pereira not to do something. Alex Pereira challenged Anthony Smith to a wrestling match after Smith beat Vitor Petrino in UFC 301. Before UFC 301, Smith and light heavyweight champion Alex Pereira were at odds with each other because Lionheart had said some bad things about Pereira while working as a UFC reporter. Smith says that his job as an analyst is not the same as his fighting career, but he recently replied to Alex Pereira's $50,000 challenge by saying that he's up for a grappling match and is sure he could submit the champion, but he doesn't think Pereira will accept. In a video for his YouTube page, Smith talked to Hall of Famer Michael Bisping about his career. In that video and on a recent episode of the MMA Hour, Smith also said that he has never challenged Pereira. As soon as possible, Pereira will likely return to defend his title, but because he likes to stay busy, it will be interesting to see what happens with his new challenge. Next, let's look at Ronda Rousey says who she will face in her UFC comeback. There were rumors before UFC 300 that Ronda Rousey, the former women's bantamweight queen, would be back in the octagon to fight. Of course, the stories were shot down by signs that Rousey had no plans to return to the octagon in the near future. A few months ago, the former champion said that part of the reason she couldn't go back to fighting was because of the brain damage she got while she was a judoka and a boxer. Even so, Rousey told Live Signing in a recent interview right after the release of her new book that if there was ever a fight she would go back to the octagon for, it would be with Gina Carano, another pioneer. So in the case of Carano, the founder of WMA hasn't fought since 2009 when she lost to Chris Cyborg, which was the first loss of her career. Since it's been 15 years since her last fight and Rousey is having health problems, it doesn't look like a fight between the two will happen anytime soon. Let's change topics and look at UFC fight updates. While we wait for this weekend's UFC Fight Night Saint Louis show, let's look at today's UFC fight updates. The first one is about Peyton Talbot and Giannis Gemori, who are going to fight at UFC 303 on June 29th. In this fight, Talbot will try to add to his 2-0 record that he has kept since joining the promotion last year. On the other hand, Gemori will be trying to get back on track after losing to William Gomez in his first UFC fight back in September.